I'm Linda.
And I'm Lisa, and together we are Ward Canted, a small yarn producer based near the River Thames, created in 2020.
So thank you for joining us, and let us tell you what we're about right away. Look, you know the amount of time and effort and love that you pour into your knitting and crochet projects. Well, we'd like to try and make all that effort truly rewarding by creating the most beautifully soft British yarns so that you can experience the joy of working with this amazing natural resource. But not only that, we'd like you to know what's in it, where it comes from, and to know the care and craftsmanship that's gone into making it. Think of it as a mutual celebration of the care in making. So, we'll share with you in this video our yarns, and I will explain to you how that led to that. Cheers!
And to start the celebrations, let's tell you about our exclusive Unravel giveaway for virtual festival viewers. We're giving away a complete set of 8 mini skeins in either DK or 4-ply to 2 lucky winners. Each set contains our colour palette in 8 lovely colours in 25 gram skeins. Details of how to enter this really simple competition will be given at the end of this video. All you need to do is keep watching. So now I'd like to introduce you to our yarns. Our very first yarn was created with expert help from the Natural Fibre Company, and it's our signature yarn, which is called Vintage 20. It's made from a unique blend of 2 of the softest British fibres. The first fibre is white Shetland, which gives you strength and softness, and we blended this with white blue-faced Leicester to give added drape and lustre. We also added a small amount of fawn, which has resulted in this lovely rich oatmeal heathery base colour. It's really, really gorgeous. I always say that. All of the fibres have been worsted spun by the Natural Fibre Company in Cornwall, which means that the fibres have all been combed in parallel to give a really soft, smooth and luxurious finish as well. The yarns come in 2 weights. The first, which you're seeing now, is 4-ply, and it's available in both 50 and 25 gram skeins. 50 grams is 225 metres, which is equivalent to 246 yards, and the 25 gram skein is 102 metres or 123 yards. DK, a 50 gram skein, is 102 metres or 122 yards, and the 25 gram is 56 metres or 61 yards.
And our favourite 4-ply project so far is the newborn hat by Pearl Soho. I think you can see just how softly and fine it knits up. Great for baby. This is a free pattern from Pearl Soho, and you could knit about 3 of these hats with one of our 50 gram skeins. We've also been lucky enough to work with knitwear designer Marina Skua, who designed this short-sleeved top in our Vintage 20 4-ply, the Dryopteris top. Marina chose the natural colourway for her pattern, but we've had very many images from customers who've knitted up the top in our different colours, and they all look really lovely. You can get Marina's pattern on her website and on Ravelry. And then in DK, I'm wearing a version of the Emma sweater by Coco Knits from their Sweater Workshop book. I've knitted this using 2 strands of our DK held together. This is the swatch that I used. And what you get is a chunky feel, but without the heaviness. So really lovely and cosy and very, very easy to wear. This is the natural colourway, obviously, and I adapted the neck using one of the Coco Knits tutorials from their website, and the stripes are my own design. And this is our Vintage 21 colourway. Talking of which, before we had even taken delivery of our first batch of Vintage 20, we were already in the process of making our second batch, Vintage 21. We wanted Vintage 21 to complement Vintage 20 so that we would have 2 yarns that you could knit together in the same project. So to do that, we chose exactly the same spinning specification, and we chose an equally soft base. It's the beautiful fleece of a crossbred Polworth Romney sheep who live on an award-winning farm in Northumberland in northeast England. The fleeces are creamy white, as you can see, and they combine the best characteristics of each of the breeds to deliver this beautiful yarn, soft and drapey in this beautiful natural cream colour. So you can use both these yarns. These actually come in DK and 4-ply as well. Same meterage, same yardage, and you can use both yarns in the same project.
One of the most exciting parts of the development process was choosing our very first colour palette, where to start. We are very fortunate that we live on a very small island on the River Thames, surrounded by nature and beautiful landscape, and that's where we sought our inspiration. We already had 2 lovely naturals, and we wanted to add further neutrals into our range. The very first is Silver Ripple, a beautiful light grey, inspired by the silver grey lights shimmering on the river at night. Our second colour, Storm, a dark grey, reflecting the colours of stormy clouds over the river.
These neutrals work well on their own, and both yarns are excellent for textured work because they've got a crispness that gives really good stitch definition. I wanted to try and show you that in Lisa's sweater, but realised that you can't see it, so we will put an image up so you can see it. But the sweater is the pediment sweater, another design for us by Marina Skua, this time in our double knit weight. And Marina chose again the natural colour for her pattern, but this is knitted up in Storm, and it's a lovely sweater.
Yes, I really like this sweater. It's got a really lovely wide neck, which makes it super comfortable to wear, and also it has quite long sleeves which drape over the actual shoulders here. It's got 2 side panels which show off the lovely stitch definition, and it really is a very comfortable sweater to wear, so it's one of my favourites.
Now just look how Storm works alongside Natural Vintage 21. This is a very special project. This is actually Lisa's very first knit project. This is the triangle hat by Tin Can Knits. I think that's amazing for a first project.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it as well.
And of course the neutrals work really well with our other colours.
We created 4 rich colours. The very first is Midnight Lagoon, a lovely rich dark blue inspired by the inky midnight sky reflected on the sleepy lagoon in the middle of our island. River Thyme, the colour of green thyme overflowing from herb pots on our island deck. Shepherd's Delight, a deep orangey red, just like the spectacular sunsets on the River Thames. And finally, my personal favourite, Lazy Hazy, the warm deep yellow, almost mustard colour seen at the start of the day on our island as the early morning sun begins to shine through low hazy clouds.
We're continuing to develop our relationships with knitwear designers to get more patterns in our own yarns. But in the meantime, what we've done is selected a few popular patterns and shown how they knit up in our yarns. One of my favourites is this hat, which is the ESP hat from the Moon and Turtle pattern book. And I really love this hat because it's got a sort of 3D effect and looks very complex, but actually it's not. And this is one knitted up in our Storm, Natural, Vintage 21 and Lazy Hazy. And we have kits for these, we have yarn kits for these hats on the website. You just buy the pattern separately, and we have a link to the pattern also in the shop. And we have 3 colour combinations for this hat there too.
So the first kit is called Yellow. So that's using a combination of Storm, Cream and Lazy Hazy, and as you can see, this is the colour palette that Linda chose for the ESP hat. The second colour combination is Red, which is again using the Storm and Cream. We've added Shepherd's Delight to give that lovely colour combination. And then the final one is then just substituting Shepherd's Delight for River Thyme to give you that lovely green lush colour. So really gorgeous.
Lovely. And another hat by the wonderful designer Stephen West, which again looks complex but is really not, is the honey striped hat. And this is done in Storm, Silver Ripple and Lazy Hazy. And again we have got kits and a link to the pattern on our website. And this is a bit of design interpretation. This is the Spindrift Shawl by Helen Stewart. And this is a really good example of how our 4-ply knits up on slightly bigger needles. This was done on a 4.5mm circular needle. And that's in our 4-ply Silver Ripple and Midnight Lagoon. And I say design interpretation because I slightly misread the pattern. So the lace section is my own.
Beautiful.
And then a bit of a fun knit in our DK. These are the paddle mitts by Tin Can Knits in our Storm and
River Thyme
and our Silver Ripple and Midnight Lagoon. Really easy knit, really quick knit, and really quite fun. And finally, a real bit of fun from Stephen West. Again, I do love Stephen West. This is a mini cowl in an interpretation of his honey striped scarf. And I think it shows all our colours working quite well together.
And that was quite a quick knit as well.
Very
wasn't
quick, yes.
Well done, Linda.
Thank you for sticking with us this far. Now, we are conscious that we haven't yet explained how this led to this. So let me do that right now. We both like our wine and we like to know where it's come from and what's in it. And when we were building up the idea for our wool business, we were quite surprised to find how similar these two industries are in many ways. So the raw materials, the grape and the fleece, are both natural materials that are heavily influenced by the environment in which they grow. And tremendous amount of care goes into tending the grapes and the sheep. And then skilled craftspeople turn these into beautiful finished products. And because of the live nature of the raw materials, a single batch of wool is unique. No two batches of wool will be the same, like no two batches of wine, even from the same sheep or the same grapevine. It's fascinating. So this is a bottle of our favourite wine. And the label tells me a lot about it. It tells me it's a Malbec from Argentina. It tells me what's in it. It tells me who the winemaker is, what year it was made, and also a little bit of history about the winery. And then there are tasting notes. So before I've even opened this wine and tasted it, I already know a lot about it. It just makes the decanting and drinking that bit more special. So we thought, why not encourage knitters to celebrate British wool like this? The sheep who grew it, the farmers who tended them, the mills who made it, and the dyers who dyed it. Then you can decant it from its label, which has lots of useful information on, unique to each batch, just like a good wine label. So by the time you've knitted something beautiful with it, you've come to know your wool really, really well. And you're part of our wool journey. But this is where the wool journey is better, because once the wine is gone, it's gone. But you'll be holding something that will last a lifetime.
Thank you. And thanks for staying with us through this video. So it's now time to give you the details of our giveaway. So if you hop over to www.wooldecanted.co.uk/unravel22 and answer this very simple question. Is our brand name A, wine decanted, B,
Wine bottle,
or C,
wool decanted?
Good luck! Thanks for watching. Bye!